Hi, my name is Carina González. I'm from University of La Laguna, and I'm going to present a work entitled Digital Resources Online for Being Active During the COVID-19 Lockdown, a case of study in Spain. This work was made in collaboration with Oriol Sansano-Nadal, Adriana López-Dóriga Guerra, and Myriam Guerra-Balic. The motivation of this work is the pandemic lockdown. During the COVID-19, sedentary behavior has become a problem associated with increased obesity, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular diseases, among other non-communicable diseases. In Spain, the lockdown started on March 14, when the Spanish government decreed a state of alarm, forcing the entire Spanish population into total confinement in response to the increase of COVID-19 cases in the first wave. Thus, health is impacted by social isolation and loneliness, increasing diseases risks. However, the pandemic also produced positive actions for health, such as creating various online exercises programs aiming to adults. Likewise, isolation can be offset by internet connections with others and thus increase exercise adherence in adults through social support. Also, online programs can add value to leisure and physical and emotional well-being during the pandemic. Although their adults are thought to be technological adverse, many are connected to the internet and use various applications. For physical activity, there are several channels on YouTube and free videos designed in particular for older adults, such as exercising at home, just go easy, or go for life from the National Institute of Aging, among others programs. In Spain, some home exercises programs have been implemented during confinement, such as the program En Acción en Casa of Telemadrid, which propose daily active gym sessions from TV. Also, specific mobile applications have been developed, such as the BB Frail, which first assesses the fitness level and then offers a daily training program based on his or her initial level. During the pandemic, classes that used to be conducted face-to-face have moved to an online format to take advantage of the social relationships between participants and their instructors. These classes can be pre-recorded and used asynchronously or streamed using Zoom, Google Meet, or other platforms of video conference. Streaming allows to provide feedback and minimize potential risks in this kind of population. Thus, our main objective was to study the use of digital resources for physical activity and entertainment in undergraduate students during the first COVID-19 quarantine wave in Spain. Our method was a cross-sectional study based on a survey developed in 11 different countries, where data obtained from Spanish participants were analyzed. The sample was a convenience sample. As an inclusion criteria, we have the following: adults older than 11 years old, competent in Spanish language, living in Spain during the first COVID-19 lockdown, accepting volunteer participation in the online survey, and having internet connection available. The survey was distributed following the snowball method through personal contacts by email and social networks like Facebook, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Researchers sent a link from an anonymous online survey and data collection lasted for 40 days, which coincided with the phase 3 in Spain. Nevertheless, participants' some obtained information could be related to Spanish phase 1 and phase 2, when there were no possibilities to go outdoors. Regarding the survey, we have different kind of items. We applied previously validated questionnaires in Spain, like the physical activity information was analyzed with an ad hoc questions and the International Physical Activity Questionnaire short version. It is an open access questionnaire, and also we used the compendium of physical activities to classify different types of physical activities. We also use other questions ad hoc, which were translated into Spanish and reviewed by a consensus agreement. Later, they were translated and back translated by an external bilingual English-Spanish native for accuracy. The online survey was hosted on the survey platform of the University of Barcelona. The final survey instrument includes 73 questions, 16 of which are analyzed in this study, related specifically to physical activity during the COVID-19 pandemic, and 2 questions related to loneliness and sleep disorders during the lockdown. Variables were organized into different topic groups like socio-demographic variables, lockdown information, physical activity, or digital resources. We also carry out a descriptive analysis for all variables using the SPSS statistic program. The ethical approval was obtained from the Institutional Review Board at the University of Barcelona in Spain, and the participants were informed about the different procedures that we have in this study. As we can observe in our main result of the socio-demographic variables, we can note that our sample was mainly female in almost the 64%, has a high school degree in more than 70%, are single in almost 90%, were no diagnosis of COVID-19 in the 86.40%, and living with family or other members in almost the 100%, and they not refer that have pets in more than the 90%. In relation with the physical activity variables, we can note the main results that the ability was very high. The place of physical activity mainly was indoor, and also they did physical activity alone. We also studied the different activities, and we observed the level of this activity, of physical activity, and we note that the activity level decreased, and also our sample facing difficulties in doing the physical activity. Related to the use of online physical activity programs, we can note that our sample mainly say yes, more than 70%, and the use of online learning for entertainment was almost the 50% of our sample. Finally, as conclusions, we can say that this study focused on the impact of physical activity and digital resources support in young adults during the lockdown. In this age range, the digital supports are a very valuable tool for physical activity. It is important to show that they did not use online learning programs for entertainment. Other results found in this study was a low number of participants stated they have pets at home, and most participants are undergraduate students and live with their family or other members, and almost the 70% of participants did physical activity indoor. It is also interesting to note that almost the 50%, 47.6% of participants stated that they decreased their activity level compared to those performed before the COVID-19. As a limitation, we can note the following. The relation between participants living in big cities or small rural towns were not analyzed. Home characteristics could be or could have influenced the exercises performance as well as their access to outdoor zones to do physical activity. We did not ask about the kind of pets, even though we asked if the physical activity level increased or decreased before the pandemic. We did not ask about the previous level of physical activity through the instrument that we used. Most of our participants were female. And thanks for your attention.